A Cautionary Tale of Jim by Carole Handel of Falconbridge, 2776. Narrated by Rowena Robinson. Jim lived across the street. He was a quiet, inoffensive man with an attractive wife and 3 kids. He had a good job, which required him to work long hours. It was quite likely that he only saw his children on the weekends when they were small. He had a nice house, which was bigger and newer than ours. We looked across the road with envy. Almost every weekend of the year out would come the lawnmower, lawn edger, whippersnipper, and rake. He spent the morning or afternoon working hard. His garden was always immaculate. Then it was time to wash and polish his car. Jim's wife took the children to dancing lessons and sport practice and games because Jim was too busy keeping his garden and car in perfect condition. This was the pattern of his life, week after week, month after month, year after year. However, one year disaster struck. Jim found a lump in his groin. He stopped mowing his lawn and washing his car because he was in hospital. The man who returned to the house was but a shadow of his former being. Jim only lived a few months more before he passed away. It was cancer. Jim was a neighbor and we watched his life play out before our eyes. We weren't close friends, but his death had a huge impact on our lives. We found out that he and his wife had been planning their first overseas holiday. Jim was just 43. We were younger, with not much money. We drove an old car and had a very small house, but even then we were still living life. We made time to take a quick camping holiday. We visited friends, took trips to the beach, and enjoyed picnics in the park. Since Jim's death, we have lived very full lives. Each time we questioned whether we should be taking yet another overseas trip, we would remember Jim. We would begin our holiday planning and redraw the mortgage loan again. Our 40s and 50s have been full of wonderful adventures. We didn't want to have any regrets. I'm sure Jim wished he had played with his kids more often, watched the soccer games and taken the family on holidays, rather than washing the car. But how do you find the balance between planning and preparing for the future, but not putting off the dreams you still have until it's too late? This is the delicate balancing act that is called living. It's the choices that most of us will make because money and opportunities are not infinite. My husband and I are both 61 and working full-time. I say grasp life, and if we end up moving in with the children, well, that's life. You still have time for adventures. It doesn't have to be a polar expedition you are planning for, but if you have always wanted to be a ballerina, paint a landscape, or play the drums, then you should do it. Spread the word to your friends and family. Plan to live while you can, and don't put it off till tomorrow. The end.